This is David, Mr. DIY Solar and Tennessee Valley Solar. I finally have a new DIY solar project to share here at my off-grid cabin in the woods of Tennessee. I'm going to walk through that if you'd like to know more about setting up a solar system. I'm here at my off-grid cabin and I've just set up a brand new solar array here, just temporarily leaning against the side of these shipping containers. The panels here are connected in two series and two parallel. So these two panels connect to each other, positive, negative, and these two connect to positive, negative. And then this set is paralleled with that set. There's what looks kind of like splitter cables back here that connect them together. That's the negative half, that splitter cable there, and there's another one back there that allows those two sets to parallel together. And I have just temporarily run this through and through a little hole in the wall there, and I've got that set up here with a charge controller, two 12-volt deep cycle batteries set up in series. So I've got a 24-volt battery here, and the solar panels come in through this breaker, go into the solar input side of that charge controller, come out of that charge controller through this breaker right here and into the batteries, and then coming out of the batteries I'm going into this little bus bar right here. That's providing 24 volts directly off the batteries, and I'm able to use that to power a few things here that are mounted here on the outside of the shipping containers. I have mounted a LED spotlight here that's DC powered. It wire just goes up to that and feeds down, and I've got it where it feeds into this splitter cable here, and there's a little on and off switch there, and that on and off switch goes into a splitter cable that's feeding directly off the bus bar. So the other half of that splitter cable is powering a little security camera here. I use a lot of these Wyze Cam V3 cameras here. Sooner or later I'm hoping that there's going to be a lean-to shed here with a more permanent solar array mounted there, coming up onto the roof of these shipping containers. But this is just a temporary setup to get some power here in this area. I've also very temporarily run a wire out this hole in the side of the shipping container, run that over along the fence here, and that powers this spotlight. And that's allowing me to turn those two on and light up this area here of my parking area right here. And so this will give us a little bit of power in this area. Hopefully soon we'll have that sort of lean-to right there with that roof coming right there over the shipping containers, and then we'll make the temporary array go away, and that'll be where the full solar array lives at. So this is about as basic a solar setup as you can get with the 12-volt batteries. In my case, I've got them in series, so I've got 24 volts that goes into the charge controller and powering some DC stuff. So at some point in time I'm also going to put a inverter in here, but right now I mostly just using this for quick and easy lights and security cameras and that thing where I can run that without needing to have the AC power. I've got an extension cord that runs over here that I can pull AC power off of that, but usually I only use the AC power if I've got the generator running. So this makes it so I can do anything I need to off the DC. And so I'm probably going to connect a couple more security cameras to this, and get this thing to switch over. Right now we're at 65 volts, coming in at 0.1 of an amp. Well, that's because the batteries are charged. Anytime your batteries are charged, the batteries are at 29 volts. So the charge controller is automatically downrating itself because it doesn't need to be producing any more power as the batteries are already charged. So next time we're up in this area of the property and it's dark, I'm going to be able to flip on these lights and have some power over here. I've also been working on a DC powered refrigerator, and I'm going to go walk through that now. And here is this refrigerator made by Sundancer. It is a DC powered refrigerator and freezer, and it's got some of the thickest insulation on a refrigerator freezer I've ever seen. And I'm working on setting this up here in the cabin. Just bought this off a friend. When I got it, it had this plug here. This is called an SAE plug, and to get it as a test, I purchased an adapter that allows me to adapt from regular barrel connector to down to the SAE. And just for a test, I've got it plugged into this 30 amp AC to DC, 12 volt DC power adapter transformer here, and that allows me to test powering this refrigerator off the DC, and things have been working pretty good with that. It got pretty cold. I had some smaller power adapters that I had been trying to use. I had been trying to power it off of this power adapter here, and it's an 8 amp power adapter, so I stepped up to using this 30 amp, and the 8 amp was not allowing it to cycle and turn on and start cooling things down, and the 30 amp seems to be doing that. So I'm going to run some wire to a socket on the wall here and connect the refrigerator to that, and get that way I'll have a full-size refrigerator instead of the little mini fridge that we've been using. The noise that you hear outside is one of our guys running my backhoe, moving some dirt here, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. down a pretty significant sized rock. So I'm going to let them get that taken care of, and I'm going to do a little bit more work here on setting up this refrigerator, and I think that this finishes up my update here for the early August 2022. Thanks for watching. Catch us next time for more updates about solar and living off-grid. This has been David, Mr. DIY Solar and Tennessee Valley Solar. Thanks a lot.